I appreciate that I kind of sprung the idea of a Q&A on this. I'm sorry for that.
That's okay.
And especially sorry if was Nax Vulcan drawn from your own experiences at all?
Yeah, it was.
Extra apologies in that case. I don't know.
No problem. It's okay.
So I think just to not put too many questions out there, I'll open it straight to the audience if anyone would like to ask. From the first film that we saw a review. Yes, please.
Yeah. What made you want to focus on the hands?
The hands.
Yeah.
It's what I, in my experience, had with my social anxiety disorder. Is every time there was something that made me anxious, I was always. Well, I'm still doing that actually, just fumbling on my clothes or anything. And I think with the social anxiety disorder, you don't really see it in people because it's so inside of your mind and your body. So I think that's the only thing that you can see, and that's what I wanted to focus it on, so you can see it in the film since it's so much in silence. Yeah.
First of all, thank you for your film. I was really moved by it. I felt the anxiety. I love the cast. So my question is, how did you cast them?
Well, I had a casting director, and I don't know how she did this actually. She knows a lot of people, so she asked around all her contacts that she knew, and we did like 1 or 2 days of casting, doing self-tapes, and then we asked like, I think 6 people to come in to actually do a scene that I wrote already, and then I just, seeing her mostly and best friend, I just knew, I was like, yeah, these two, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's perfect, so I'm really happy with that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you can see the chemistry. It feels really real.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it really paid off as well, that chemistry, when you get towards that scene where they're on the beach, right? And the idea of like you live with this kind of anxiety, and you're kind of not used to, but you expect from other sources this kind of hostility of this kind of like, or belief in tough love, of like, when it comes from a source closer to home, from a friend or a loved one, that must especially sting. So to have their chemistry so good was really important there.
Yeah.
But also it was great writing, I think, is important.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, I guess from own experiences, I guess that helps to know what you have to write about. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for the film. And do we have a closing question, maybe?
Yeah. I was wondering, when she had like the attack, you saw the force and everything. I was wondering what was the connection between the attack and then the force spinning and stuff.
It's something very specific that I saw when I was walking outside once, and it was storming at night, and I was just walking through a forest, and I was like, this is, I don't know why, but it felt exactly like, how do I say that? Like in a panic attack, I feel like there's so much going through my head, and so much I cannot explain in words, that I have to use something else to make it, that you can actually feel it. And when I was walking through that forest at night in a storm, I was like, this is kind of the silence and the anxiety I get from a panic attack. And I thought I could just put that together. For me, it was very, it just felt right for me. But I can imagine.
It was good.
Thank you. Great.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much again for joining me quickly on stage for a couple of questions. Don't go anywhere, because obviously, I have this envelope where I have to announce our festival's winners. But no, I'd like a round of applause first, and then we'll. So second, then I'll be joined by the director of Narcissus, our second film. crowd. Like, you got a hell of an ovation at the end of the film. It was very nice.
Yeah, I bought out all the seats. So.
Smart. And now, I wanted to ask, before we open up to the floor, this is obviously a great myth that people might have come across in their experiences, but it's a kind of aspect of the myth that isn't often talked about. So I wanted to ask, why focus on this element of the myth, and why now? In terms of, I think a lot of people will have learned about Narcissus without the kind of other man aspect.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. Funny thing is actually it started off, my first draft was Echo, so the persons who know the original story, or the most told story, is with Echo. It's which a nymph who tries to get his attention. But then I thought, this is not about her. This is all about him, about his own. Well, for in this case, and how I told the story, it's about insecurity, trying to get validation from someone else, trying to get a kind of getting it. Yeah, how do you say, like, trying to see yourself as someone as a better. So I thought I need this mirror aspect. So I chose it to be a man, someone who is kind of close to the similar looking as the main character. And then I had to give it a name, and then of course I went further into the mythology, and there is another story about a man who tries to get the love of Narcissus, which is Amadeus, and that's how I got to him. But it's loosely based on this story. So it's more about Narcissus himself and his own reflection rather than the story of Amadeus and Narcissus.
Okay. Do we have questions from the floor? I assume we must.
Yeah, I really like the scene where the main character is talking with the two people, and he sort of like fades out of the conversation, and I was like wondering, is it like maybe what was your idea about it, like that scene?
That moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of in the kind of at the end it feels like a victory, because he kind of got his confidence, he had the validation that he was searching for, and then he kind of notices that it was kind of a false confidence was real, because the validation came from someone else. It's not true, it's self-confidence. And then he kind of snaps out of that because he cannot really hold his own when his friends are just like being his friends and just talking around. So I wanted to convey that in that conversation.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. It's like it feels like it's left out, but you could also think like maybe that's just how it is in his mind, like he feels left out.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, because he kind of disassociates again, just like he was in the beginning, because he couldn't hold their attention, and they're just having fun, because he could have stayed there and be present, but he kind of.
I like how that was very subtle.
Thanks.
Anyone else? So just a quick question on the festival run, right? Because I saw you got into, was it Kraken?
Yes, Kraken. Yeah, next week.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So will you be jetting off to that?
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna go to Milan in a few days. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
How's the uptake been more generally? Like, will you be playing a lot of other festivals soon?
No, not that I know of. These are the two I got in, but we'll see. Who knows?
Okay, we got to give everyone else a kick up the arse then. Do you have a plan for a follow-up, or is all the energy now going into kind of trying to promote Narcissus?
For now, these weeks, I'm mostly looking at this, but I'm thinking of a next project, but it's very into the air.
Nice. Okay. And any others before I jump back in? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for the film. Really enjoyed it. I felt also that maybe it was, or my experience is also maybe some kind of criticism on self-love. Maybe nowadays it's also framed, you have to love yourself before you can love somebody else, but it also creates maybe this less community-minded society. Is that also something you feel? Because in the creative process, that is something you have to deal with.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yes, that's something also personal to me. Like I think my insecurities can get myself self-obsessed, and also you try to find that self-love going in. But I think once you love yourself truly, and you'll be more present, and you wouldn't think as much of yourself. So yeah, I agree. Any other questions?
I know a lot, but I'm afraid so.
Ask for everyone else as well.
What made you create the scene where the water scene?
The water scene, yeah. I wanted to be close to the myth. I wanted to kind of drag the main character out of the real world. And of course, in the original story, he ends up at the lake and at his own reflection. So I felt that would be a nice place to see this romance or false romance happening.
And why the arm? Like of
The arm, to drag him, to truly drown him in his own self-image.
yeah. He also gave us some shirt disguise.
Well done.
Yeah. Next to we screened a film about a failed bodybuilder a couple of years ago, and just behind that film, I guess this is the most shirtless guys that we've had in this.
That's what that was like.
Okay. If we don't have a final question, I'll draw this one to a close because we have to talk about who's going away with prizes as well. Okay. Thank you very much.